Tonight, on a very special episode of Cel Damage, will Violet finally learn of the disease that's slowly killing her? Will Cinder finally become house-trained? Nah! We'll just drive around way too fast and blow up everything in sight like we do every week! And don't forget to call in during the show and buy crap that you'll never need. Not available in all states. Cel Damage, tonight at 8.
Hi, Panda here, and here's our video review of Cel Damage HD. Cel Damage HD is a car combat / racing game that you can play up to 4 players locally. This HD version was brought to you by Finish Line Games. This is a HD remaster of the original Cel Damage game, so let's find out, does it hold up? You can choose from several different characters who all have a unique vehicle each and special attacks. You can pick up other various weapons from an axe to a freeze ray. The game consists of 3 different modes. There's a race mode where you just have to get from one checkpoint to another. Because the maps are slightly smaller, you do more laps than you would expect. Sometimes it's like up to 8-9 laps. There's capture the flag mode, but it's a little bit different in this game. The flags have legs, so you have to try and chase the flags, pick them up and bring them back to an area that's marked. It's usually like a circle area, like a base of operations where you just dump your flags there and like first to 10. All these modes you can adjust the settings, like how difficult things are, what score you need to get, how many laps, how many flags. And the last and final mode, as you expect from a car combat game, is combat mode. And it's basically the first person to get a certain number of hits, like first person to cause 300 hits to anyone. You can spread them across different enemies. So it's a little bit different. It doesn't have that feeling in some car combat games where you've got to destroy all the cars and you're the last car standing. All these modes though share the same map. There's the same 12 maps, but the only difference is when you're doing race mode, there's the metal arches, and when there's the capture the flag mode, obviously there's some flags and a place to dump them off. Gameplay is fast and hectic. Although I found the rubber banding is questionable here. When you first play the game, you have to come first to be able to unlock the next stage for that mode, which leads to some frustration because if you lose the match, you have to replay it, and it gets a little bit tedious because you can just lose from such minute, like split-second difference between coming first and second. I think some podium finishes would have been nicer. So yeah, replaying the same event to progress, a little bit annoying. Like I said before, there's only 12 maps and there are only 4 different themes from the Wild West to outer space. Also, the game lacks any cups or championships. You really just do individual levels here. You're like, let's do this level in race mode or this level in combat mode. Try and get first to win, and then you can kind of just go and choose whichever one you've unlocked and do those. There are a few brief cutscenes here, but the humour is kind of outdated in general. Well, I didn't find it too funny. It's kind of going for a cartoony humour, but it doesn't quite hold up. The only thing I would say, some of the environments here may be a little bit culturally insensitive, like driving around the Aztec theme, and it just feels a little bit out of date and out of touch with how things are now. I think they could have like readjust these levels to not be quite as offensive. There's nothing majorly offensive here. We're not seeing misuse of like tribal masks or anything, which I do appreciate they didn't do that, but it still has that slightly weird, uncomfortable feeling that they're just like using cultural stereotypes, like, yeah, these are what aspect temples with spears or something. It's 2022 by now. It's not quite what we expect. And even when this HD remaster came out the other year, things should have got better. I was hoping they could have easily readjusted this level. But overall, gameplay holds up pretty well. The cars feel great. It's good fun, but they've not changed much in the gameplay since the original, which is both a blessing and a curse. Obviously, it's nice to have a HD remaster that sticks true to the original game, but sometimes like, some of these things you could have fixed or tweaked that could have improved on the original game. The graphics and visuals here use a cel-shaded look, and generally this looks really good and suits the theme and style of this game. It's a little bland and lacking in some places. Also, the characters do not look good in cutscenes. It's not quite Wind Waker level of excellent cel shading, but overall it's clean and it looks good in action. Definitely has a unique look for a car combat game. Also, as a bonus of using this cel shaded and the graphical style they've used. The cars bend in like unnatural ways, so when they like take a corner, they kind of like the shape of the car bends, and I think this looks really cool with the cel shade looks. And overall the environments look interesting and different. Like I said before, just a little bit lacking, a little bit more detail would have added to the environment's appeal. Audio overall is passable and serviceable. None of the music is pretty memorable. Audio is my biggest gripe with the game. The audio mixing isn't great, and a few of the characters' quips are quite offensive, including a slang term that is very offensive for British players and was very surprised it was left in. So overall, this is where I feel like they've done the least work in this HD remaster, and to be honest, they could have done better, and they should have checked to make sure all the things the characters were saying was suitable for all the countries it was released in. So I'm really quite disappointed. Overall, this is a good car combat game that has made the transition to HD really well, but the lack of online multiplayer, the audio mixing issues, and the lack of content kinda knocks it down from a high recommendation. I would get it if you love the original and have 3 local friends to play with. This is definitely a on sale purchase recommendation. I hope that it is a series and overall genre that will make a comeback. Thank you for listening and watching a review of Cel Damage HD. Remember to like and subscribe, and thank you so much to our Twitch subscribers and Patreons for helping support us, and you can find out more details in the links below. See you next time.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. What the? You've been